Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So today I made a pretty tough decision to decline an offer to buy a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser First Edition. So for those of you who are not familiar, the new Land Cruiser is going to come in 3 different grades. First Edition, standard Land Cruiser, and then 1958 edition, kind of being on the lower end of the price pendulum, right? I had an opportunity to place a deposit to secure one today from a sales rep who I had worked with before out of Nebraska. He said, hey, we got one coming in. I don't currently have a name on it, but I wanted to call you first to see if you wanted it before I called other people. I thought long and hard about it because it would be cool to try out something new, and of course it'd be nice to share new content with you guys, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And I couldn't bring myself to do it for a few reasons. So in this video today, I'm going to highlight those primary reasons why I ultimately decided to turn down a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser First Edition at MSRP. So we still have some Toyota dealers that are living in fantasy land. They still believe that we're still living in pandemic times where supply is low and demand is high, and that is absolutely not the case. It's completely the opposite, right? Inventory levels are as high as we've seen in a very, very long time. We're getting back to pre-pandemic levels, and the interest in buying a vehicle has come down substantially because price tags have gone through the roof in the last few years. Not to mention interest rates are garbage, but we still have some dealerships living in that fantasy world where they think that they can slap a $10,000 markup on top of the MSRP of the new vehicles hitting the lots, like the new 2024 Toyota Tacoma, like the new Toyota Land Cruiser here. They're really licking their chops and really trying to take advantage of your excitement, right? You're excited about these new vehicles, you're excited about the brand, and they want to take advantage of that the best they can. And we especially see it in places like California. A lot of you have actually sent me screenshots on Instagram showing brand new Toyota Land Cruisers with a $20,000 markup on it for the first editions coming in, which is disgusting that they think that they can deploy that. But unfortunately, they'll end up probably tricking an individual into buying it, and that's a total shame, right? So thankfully, I did have a dealership out in Nebraska. A sales rep that I had worked with before reached out and said, hey, we have a brand new Land Cruiser First Edition coming in. We don't have a name on it just yet. I wanted to call you, see if you're interested in putting a deposit down to hold it. And I thought about it. I asked him if I can call him back, and he's like, yeah, no problem. And I ended up calling him back about an hour later after really thinking it through. And I said, thanks, but no thanks. I ended up declining this brand new Land Cruiser First Edition at MSRP for a few reasons. Let's talk through it. Let's start with the biggest reason up front. For those of you who don't know, we've been trying to actively sell our house here to move to our quote-unquote dream house for a while. And because of that reason, I actually got rid of our Raptor and we got rid of our Cadillac Escalade. Those the family hauler, right? So we got rid of our quote-unquote expensive vehicles and quote-unquote downgraded to the Tundra here, which isn't a huge downgrade financially, right? But the Escalade, getting rid of that and getting into the Lexus GX470 that we have really saved us a lot of money and put us in a really good financial position to get into that next house. However, even though we priced our house very competitively, 30 grand below comps, we haven't gotten a single offer yet. So our hope of getting into that dream house is kind of dwindling a little bit, and we're okay with that because we do love it here. I hope that doesn't come across the wrong way. Like, we do love our home here. But for that reason alone, we're going to give it another month to see if anybody ends up placing an offer on our house so we can then, of course, get under contract on the other home there. So we're going to give it another month. So that's the driving reason, right? Want to try to give it a little bit more time as we get into spring here. Hopefully, maybe more people will be looking and we might be able to make it happen. So number one reason, we're still actively trying to get into that dream house. I know I haven't really followed up with you guys too much about that, but there's a quick update there. Now, the second reason perhaps is even more important than that other reason, and that is the space within that new Land Cruiser is not conducive for a family the size of mine. We have 4 kiddos, so a family of 6 with my wife and I included, of course. There's no third row option in that new Land Cruiser. So unfortunately, it would be a vehicle that wouldn't even really be functional for our family, and that's a big piece of the equation too, right? Obviously, it would have been great for the channel, providing that new content to you guys. I love the Land Cruiser nameplate. It really is a special vehicle to me, and I'm hopeful that this new Land Cruiser will still be nice, but I do have my doubts for sure. But the fact that it wasn't going to be functional for a family the size of mine is the second reason. And the third reason is kind of piggybacks on the second one. I just can't buy off on the 4-cylinder just yet. I want to try it. Maybe I'm going to like it. the 4-cylinder iForce that's going to be in this iForce Max hybridized platform. I'm sure it's going to be incredible, right? It's going to be great when it comes to the actual performance numbers, the stats coming out of it, the horsepower, torque, everything's going to be great. But I just don't know if I want to buy off on that just yet, especially on the first year. That first model year of a full new redesign, they often have little bugs and kinks that they need to work out within that first couple of years of a new vehicle, a full new redesign, right? So that's kind of a piece of the equation. And a part of me, I've been following Land Cruiser Heritage Editions, 2021 Land Cruiser Heritage Editions, the ones where you can actually get a third row in them. I've been following them still, and the prices have come down tremendously. You guys know, if you followed my channel, I sold my Heritage Edition for $106,000. Not too long ago, maybe 5 months ago at this point, maybe a little bit more. 106 grand I sold it for. Today I can probably buy that same Land Cruiser with maybe 10,000 miles more, but still save $25,000 on it easily or more. So the prices of those have continuously come down. I think they're going to keep going down just a little bit. So a part of me just thinks that that might be the next appropriate step if we end up deciding against this whole house sale idea, right? Getting back into a Land Cruiser Heritage Edition, to let that be the family hauler with the third row. That would be conducive for our family, our size, right? So honestly, what would you have done, right? I mean, pretend, you had a YouTube channel, you had an opportunity to get that brand new Land Cruiser, share that content with people. There's goodness in that, of course, but at the end of the day, it's just not functional for our family. We would have had it kept, the GX 470 here. We would have kept that as our primary family hauler, which would have felt weird, right? Me driving the Tundra here while also having a brand new Land Cruiser, but still making Mrs. Untamed haul the kids around in the 2006 GX. That just wouldn't feel right, I don't think. So those are my reasons why I ultimately decided against it. I don't love the shift that Toyota's making to all the tiny 4-cylinder platforms, hybridized platforms. I don't love that. I don't think that's a good decision to only do that. So part of me, I don't know. I really am torn. I was back and forth on it throughout the hour that I was really debating on it. It would be a good opportunity, but at the same time, not conducive for what we need. And I say it kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I honestly mean it when I say the best type of truck or the best type of vehicle is a paid-off vehicle. Having an expensive monthly payment every single month coming out with a terrible interest rate, if you were to buy one right now, that doesn't sit right with me. And I would end up taking a loan out to get that Land Cruiser, right? If I'm keeping the Tundra here, and keeping the GX over there, I would take a loan out for that. And well, then I find myself kind of stuck in that predicament, right, where I'm paying a ton of money each month going out the window, a lot of it going to interest, and I don't love that. So the best type of vehicle really is a paid off vehicle. And since having these two here, between the Tundra and the GX, I don't know, it's nice, kind of saving a lot of money every month, and I really do appreciate that. So what do you think? Honestly, I would think I would still teeter toward getting a Lexus GX 550 over Trail Plus. I mean, that would be, I think, more the ideal pick. But I did love the fact that the first edition, of course, was limited to 5,000 units. I do think it's going to maintain value well over the next few years, even as they're working out the bugs and kinks in that platform. It just being that numbered vehicle will allow it to hold value well. It won't go up in value, I'm pretty confident in that, because they're going to be mass producing the crud out of the new Land Cruiser, but I think it would have been a safe bet financially to have gotten that. But I do think I would lean toward the GX 550. I think I prefer the idea of the larger displacement motor, the 3.4 liter V6. I think that's just a better option personally, the turbocharged V6. Let me know what you guys think. Not to mention, perhaps I'm a bad YouTuber. I should make a whole independent video on it like all the other YouTubers. But we just had the additional teaser of that new 4Runner. I don't know if you see, I'll throw up a picture of it real quick. They did confirm that the new 4Runner, the 6th generation 4Runner in 2025, will still have the roll down window, rear window, which, I don't know, it would have been a total shame if they got rid of that. So it's not too big of a surprise to me, honestly. But what are your thoughts on that new, at least what we've seen so far, that new 6th generation 4Runner? Do you think I should wait for that? So I'll wrap up the video there, guys. Really, I just kind of want to pitch that to you because that phone call did come in today. Do I want to buy a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser first edition, be among the first, probably, maybe the first edition anyway, to hit the lots out here in my region? I had an opportunity to get it, and I declined. Was that a good move? Or should I have done that really just for content's sake? Would that have been a good idea? Let me know seriously what you would have done. As always, guys, I do appreciate you watching. If you enjoy this type of content, I do sincerely appreciate it if you'd consider liking and subscribing. Your support means a lot, and I definitely take note of it. Thanks for watching as always. Till next time.